Aparam ma'am, welcome back to
Yeah,
BookFlix Live episode number 11.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Aparam ma'am, we have got a lot of inspiring feedback from our viewers. I'm really inspired to have today's episode again. And I'm sure today's episode again is going to be a very, very high quality one.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, sure. Aparam ma'am, I would like to start with my first question. The way you have worked with so many prime ministers, in fact, seven prime ministers to be precise, and it's a very, very inspiring journey. And apart from your other success stories, now let me focus into your assignment with the national top leaders, that means the prime ministers. If you have any memorable leadership experience or learning that you have been able to pick up from those national leaders? Over to you.
Thank you, bro. See, leadership at that level, we always think leadership is very dramatic. But actual leadership at that level is there is no drama at all. And each leader has a different style of his or her own. And it's not typical or it's not copied from anyone, never imitated because they all have their own style. And very firmly believe it's your character that actually builds your leadership style. You always
True.
ask what is the style, different leaders, which style should we adopt. So it's not about adopting. Actually, your character builds your leadership. The way your character is actually comes out as your leadership style. You go and reminiscence about your own character and then see what type of a leader you are. You will find the resonance with both of it. See, suppose one prime minister was a poet by himself. He was an excellent poet. So his vision was that. So easy going and he took it that way. One prime minister was someone who always was looking after external affairs, visited countries. So his vision was to tie up friendships with as many countries as possible. And one prime minister was a voracious leader into books and house full of books. He was always reading and reading. So they are people who could think about the next generation. So that was the leadership style they showed, but in their own way. Someone was a poet, someone was a leader, someone was a reader, someone was an orator. So that I'm telling you that actually your basic character forms the style of that. So and it was a good learning. There is no drama. You all wear your ranks, you wear your positions, and you think of leadership as with authority and this thing. No, actual leadership at the top is that of responsibility. And those people never had any drama. They were all simple people, like you and me sitting at home. They were them. It was all that they wore that dress when they had to meet foreign delegates or when they had to be in public eye. But inside their house, they were just normal human beings like you and me, without any awe of that being the leader, topmost leader of that country. And that's a great learning. And that's how they, in fact, build the SPG training basis of that only. Never carry your ego on your shoulders. Actually, wearing the rank on your shoulder gives you a lot of pride and it makes you heavy. You walk like that with pride in uniform, yes. But SPG doesn't have a khaki uniform. You are in civilian clothes. Although we wear good clothes like how you are wearing coat and pant, we also used to wear that. But they break your ego, and that 50-kilometer run and 200 push-ups was for that only, so that you don't remember the authority, but only the responsibility. That was a good learning, which in fact helped me in later of the life. It was easy to work in a corporate with this learning.
I'm sure each of the prime ministers, when they come to that kind of a position, that kind of a leadership level, definitely they would be having very, very powerful strengths in themselves, very, very unique strengths of each of them, I would like to say. At the same time, I would also say that, working with them would have given a lot of lessons or learnings to you, apart from working as a SPG officer, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I said, responsibility. And being calm and that maintaining that equanimity in your mind. You never react so much to joy or sadness. It's balanced. That you learn from them. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
country is burning, but you will still find that man sitting and working out a strategy. You and me would be
Abs-
flabbergasted and bring the hell down. But no,
yeah,
they are standing outside. We hear bits and pieces from the media and we are overwhelmed with our reactions. But there, that man sitting inside is just working out the strategy, how to solve it. So you learn from that. You
absolutely.
learn a lot. And see, being quiet and your inner silence and you leadership by presence, I would say that is the greatest learning. So we all think CEO is coming, MD is coming. That's the great thing they make in companies. In corporate, you hear this: the MD told this, the CEO told this, the founder is coming, etc., etc. And there is a lot of hype about the owner or the leader. But here, it's already there is hype in the nation that so and so the highest person is coming to on the street to meet you or on the public to meet you. But actual leadership is their presence, in silence. It's not about telling I am so and so, so and so. We have a habit of telling, that we give our titles and we speak. If suddenly someone says you are nothing, no title is there, introduce yourself. We will be in dearth of words to what to say about ourselves because usually we tell our titles only as our introduction. And if that is not there, who are you? Nothing. So, but that silence and their presence, yeah, that's what I learned. See, it's your, and again, I would mention it's your character that builds your leadership style. That's very important.
Absolutely. The kind of character that they are able to exhibit to
Yeah.
that level, actually, that actually gives them that identity of leadership. Apramam, we will go at length about your corporate experience and your role as a healer, your role as a big advocate for animals. That we will discuss in the next episode. Coming back
Okay.
to the journey with the prime ministers. Uh, as a prime minister, especially for those leaders who have become prime minister for the first time, definitely, as you have mentioned, they have a very strong character, strong leadership style in themselves. However, when they actually handle or manage a country, it's the challenge is actually very different. The level
Yeah.
of the kind of challenge that they have to go through is very different, as I suppose. And because uh, in some part of the country there may be some crisis which is going on, wherein they have to do really firefighting kind of a job, and sometimes the degree of that particular problems go really high. It consumes a lot of attention and energy. At the same time, uh, he or she has to work on the economy progress for the country, progress for the civilians in every level, in the village, in the town, in the big cities, metros, etc. It's a combination of actually diverse kind of activities and roles that they have to play as a leader. At the same time, they have to take the country forward, compared to the other countries internationally. Here, the question I wanted to again just ask as a follow up question is that some of the parameters, the prime ministers would be very strong already, but in some other parameters, for example, maybe in economy or in some other parameters, uh, as a leader, he might not be so much strong when they become a prime minister for the first time. So how do they cope up? The system automatically works, or they develop by themselves and they have a habit of learning and developing? How do they cope this competency? I would say development, or how do they manage that kind of situations? Just I wanted to ask that.
In corporate, we talk of teamwork, na? And that is what happens. Because you are also a human being and you cannot be a specialist in everything. You have your core competence in something. That's how, as I told you, someone was a poet, someone was an orator, someone was a reader, someone was like that. So he was good in making friendship with other countries. So people had their own core competence. But you can't expect that man to be a specialist in everything. And that is how they had their team of strategists. You had an advisor, he had an advisor. So all these IAS officers, they are there in between as filters to gather information and give them. And at the same time, you had specialists working for them throughout. And it all depended on how good a leader you are in trying to absorb things from others. But if you are a person you think you know everything and you want to be autocratic, it's very difficult. So the prime minister also learns from others. And it's absolute teamwork, nothing else, simple teamwork. Because he has his own aid of many, no? He has his own team. So he has to take the right advice from the right people. And then he has his own filters to not to get carried away, but what is being said to him. And then a great leader, then he filters it and then takes the right decision, which could be suitable to many without harming the interest of the minorities. So that's how it works.
Yeah, thank you so much for explaining so well on this. Another question I just wanted to ask is like, as we all know, when somebody goes to a very very higher level, the person becomes much more simpler and much more easier to deal with as a human being. Does it apply to the prime ministers also? Like all of them that you have worked with, are they also a simple person as a human being? Do they carry this common behavior, common character in them?
Again,
or
as I
or
told
or
you,
or some of them are very critical to deal with. Maybe you can speak to the level which is permissible. I can
which is
understand
permissible, yeah.
that
That's
everything cannot be disclosed. I understand
yeah.
the
I can't take names,
confidentiality
but
of
that
that aspect.
uh,
Yeah.
I can't take names. That's why I go back to that first line. Character is what is your leadership styles. Some people were too simple. By his character, he was simple. At least three of them whom I worked with were simple by their own character. They would just get up, brush their teeth, and someone would start attending the public. Someone was like that, down to earth. But someone was an audacious reader. So he was interested in meeting and solving the public issues always. So it all depends. But some people who had an air on them, so from the beginning, so it could be that was the part of their character, then it became part of their leadership style also. Whether he was a simple man or not a simple man, protocols were always there. But when you walk and the smiles you exchange, that shows the empathy you have for your people who are standing with you or who are working with you 24 by 7. That shows. That shows actually you enjoy working with them, and then without any, what to say, hesitation, you can lay your life for such people. So it all depends because not all are same because characters are different, their habits are different. So
I think you
some
have
people
very
are
well
simple.
articulated.
I have because I can't say much, but that's the truth. Yeah, we all are
No, no,
different
I
people.
think you have explained so well in those many words, and our viewers can very well understand,
Yeah,
what
they
you
can
have.
resonate themselves. Like who could have been
Absolutely,
how?
absolutely. Apara ma'am, but any specific moment while you had been working with the prime ministers wherein you felt really proud of yourself? You felt bit emotional about what you have done. Any specific moment if you would like to share?
Yeah, we can't share like that, but I can just give you an offline incident. I can say, see, every day you finish your duty and you get back home is a victory for you because 8 hours of duty without an incident, even a small one, no goof up, it's victory for you. So that's how we are trained to be mentally thin. We don't celebrate because every day is celebration. The moment you surrender your pistol at the this thing, quarter guard, that means everything is fine. You go home and come back the same day. So that's how our mind is trained. 8 hours of duty, absolute impeccable with no goof up. And you don't carry that home. Just leave it, switch off, and then go. That's how you're trained. Once I was
Absolutely.
on a
So yes, yes. Please
I
carry
want to
on.
tell
Please
you
carry on.
that, like, I can't explain other incidents, but since it's about the spouse of that PM, so I'm telling you. So once I was on a foreign tour, but I was accompanying the spouse at that time as a security officer, not the PM, but the prime minister had a spouse, so she also traveled. So I was with her. So morning, as usual, by 7 I got ready and I was standing outside the hotel room. and waiting for her to come or ask, call me or whatever it is. But I was ready on duty. No one else was there, but I had reported early. And suddenly I saw the PM coming out of the suit, dressed very casually, like how you sleep. He just got down and he was just looking. I said, "Sir, yes, sir." He said, "Can you come inside?" I said, "Yes, sir." Then he showed his wife, just help her. So naturally, all our prime ministers have been old only. They are not young, and wife was also old. And maybe she had some problem. She coughed, and that phlegm got stuck up here, and she was not able to breathe, and she was having difficulty. So then I
Hmm.
had to help her personally, and then helped her vomit whatever happened, and then she was saved. Like it came out, and it was okay. So I didn't report it anywhere because it was out of humanity. It is not part of security job. But still, I did it and I came out. But he knows that he was so good enough that after everything was happened, the debriefing was happening, we came back to India. And that time he mentioned to my senior officers, like one day it happened to my spouse like that while we were in England. And this, he told my name. It was for her that she could be saved, etc., etc. was told. So, it does not need any mention for a person of that high stature, It's for him, I am just a security officer. He did not have remembered it. But still he remembered to make that mention to my seniors. It was something very honorable. Then you feel nice ki, of course, you took an extra mile to do that. And you feel very happy, such moments, because it's a high confidential duty. You are not appreciated. If you're there in SPG, it's worth to be appreciated because they don't keep you even for a small mistake. They just send you away. So your service has to be impeccable to be there for 7 to 8 years. So that's the greatest gift that was given to me. And again, a second chance was given after 4 years. When I became the commandant, they again called me back for a second tenure, but I preferred not to take it. High tension job. And because of family circumstances, that time I refused to go for a second tenure. Usually they don't call. Once gone, gone. But I had that opportunity, but I did not take up.
Absolutely. I really do appreciate the kind of professionalism you are still maintaining by keeping those
Yeah.
confidentiality, at the top priority. I really appreciate that. At the same time, I would also note that after all, everybody is a human being, whether it is a prime minister or any other person. So
Yeah.
beyond the lines of your duty, you have gone there as a human being and you have supported.
Yeah.
Definitely,
That's
definitely,
what.
it's a very very kind act that you have performed. I really have note of that, and I respect that activity that you have done on that. You have mentioned about high pressure job. I really do realize that as you have mentioned that completing one day's task is a mission accomplishment that you have done.
Yeah.
Every day is a winning story. Every day is a success story. I really do understand that. My question is that uh, in order to perform your duty in such a high pressure situation, how do you maintain your calmness? How do you maintain your excellence in discipline and mindset? How do you do that, Aparam ma'am?
You know that in SPG, they give importance to physical test. And then you have to
Okay,
be a sharp shooter. So you have to qualify that. But most of
right.
all, you are not selected until you pass the psychology test. That's the most important thing. Because it's always a tense situation, and you have committed that you will lay down your life before someone else is hurt. And that's a very difficult thing. See, he is not your husband or your children or mother or father for you to protect and give your life. It's very difficult. See the psyche. So that is why that training is so hard. They make you 200 push-ups. And after that, you can hear the ustad telling, now the count starts one. So you're already broken at 200. And he will say, now the 50 that you do is the actual strength. and he will make you do it. It's not easy, but he will make you do it. See, that's why there is no uniform. We all care because they don't take officers fresh, With 5 to 6 years of experience, only you are brought on deputation. Already you have seen lot of power wearing khaki, wielding your pistol, then your lathi, you have done lathi charges, you have shot people, etc., etc. You have so much of experience, and from there you come down, leaving everything. You have two people, you have a gunman with you, you have so many people to take care of you, so many people to just obey you blindly. And from there they bring you on deputation. That's the ego they had to break. First day they give you a big broomstick, long one, which our scavengers use. They will say broom. Many people leave on the third day because they can't take it. Because if you're used to that taste of power, you can't. Because you have so much to say, so much to share, but you can't open your mouth. It's very difficult. You can't tell your husband also. You can't tell your parents also what is happening or what is happening. You keep tight mouth because they tempt you. People do tempt you. Tell me what happens. What does the prime minister wear? How does he look in the house? What does he do? Because people tempt you because they want information. But you are tight-lipped. You can't say anything. So it's all about training, bro. That's what I would say. That's why the training is different. It's only for 16 weeks, but 16 weeks is like hell. 16 weeks is like 16 months. No rest at all, right from 5:30 in the morning till 7 in the evening. You're just out. You are a dead log by 7 p.m. You don't know anything. You go, come back next morning again at 5:30. Very compressed, but very difficult training. That's why they break you. They break you. They want you to break emotionally because they don't want you to be in such a situation. Suppose I'm taken captive by someone and they ask me, tell me the secrets, where is the door, where is this, where is that? They ask me about the confidential things inside the house which we are guarding or the office which we are guarding. I should not give up, no? I should be ready to give my life rather than sharing the information. So that is why that training. And and I think I'm very thankful those 16 weeks is what keeps me going till date. That training. Great. Very grateful.
I would like to really thank you for sharing those aspects so straightforward and so clearly, because what I'm realizing is that first of all, being deputed as one of them, to be one of the officers to look after, to guard the prime minister, I think you need to have that kind of a track record in your service. That itself
Yeah.
gives you
Yes.
the qualification. It is not about how you perform in some of the tests or exams.
No.
It is
No. No.
about the kind of track record in terms of practical performance you had mentioned about. On top
Yeah.
of that, the training that you have talked about, what I'm looking at is there are two aspects to it. One is the technical, strategic, in a way, in terms of dealing with, coping with those situations, to be performing there as a SPG officer. But the other thing is through those trainings, you have to go through an intense test, the real practical test, because in those trainings itself, you may fail. You might not be able to come out
True.
successfully. And sometimes you might surrender that I cannot
Yeah.
handle it, as you have mentioned. I think being a lady apara ma'am, coming from the kind of background you had, the kind of journey that you had, having that passion, not only passion, that intensity of passion to be there and performing as a SPG officer, the first lady commander of paramilitary, after that again first lady SPG officer to be guarding the prime minister. Salute to you, ma'am. And I think
Thank you.
if we correlate this same perspective, same aspect with our normal life in any field, for somebody to attain to that kind of level or goal or vision somebody carries, if we, I would say, demonstrate the same kind of commitment and focus you mentioned the other in the other interview, that the kind of commitment and the dedication and focus If we can have that in that intensity in any field, I think nobody can stop us from reaching the kind of level we'd like to
Very
reach
true.
in our
Yeah.
life. And here I would like to again ask, coming back to the young generation of today and the common people, what are the biggest misconception people have about achieving success in their lives? What is your views on that, Aparam?
So yeah, I would like to say confidence. You need a lot of confidence to even see success. And confidence is not built on applause, you know. People have to realize that
Yes.
confidence is never built on applause. It's about all about the preparation that you make for that, towards getting that confidence. And people should always remember, you know, titles may come and go. One day I was the commandant Asia's first women's battalion, first woman officer, etc., etc. But they vanish, you know. And what remains is your character. So, if at all parents want to implant something in their children, is what they have to build the character in their children. Nothing else is required. If your character is okay, everything is else is okay, and else is possible. But unfortunately, we get too carried away by titles. We get too carried away by the applause that we get from people, or the decorations we get from our ranks and the positions and the authority that we hold in the market. So we get carried away by that. But one day or the other, all those things have to be sacrificed when you realize these are nothing but just temporary things.
Absolutely, Aparam ma'am. Very well said. Again, when we come to title, you have mentioned about character, you have mentioned about title. What I also realize is that in life, definitely having a title gives a lot of advantage to somebody in terms of getting the, I would say, conveniences and the facilities or empowerments. But at the same time, if you are not demonstrating the kind of character that you have to demonstrate, then the title again goes away. If you have,
Correct.
on the other hand, if you have that character, if you have that commitment on your work, dedication on your work, title also follows that. Am I right in saying that? Do you agree with
Absolutely.
me
I
on
agree
this?
with you. I agree
Yeah,
with you because sometimes in corporate, people have not
sure.
agreed to my opinion for playing little low, you know. Some seniors always argued that you need to be flamboyant if you are at that senior level. If you had that authority, you need to come in a BMW or you need to come in such a car so that people knew that you are so and so. But I always beg to differ because that's my true nature. I beg to differ. I said, how does it matter in which car you come? People will notice the car. But ultimately, it is the important who comes out of the car. So he did not agree with me. He said, no, because I was a CHRO, you know. So he was insistent this level of officers should be given these kind of cars and they should come in these cars only. So, but as a HR officer, I didn't want to increase the expense of the company. But at the same time, my value also stood that I said, how does it matter whether you are coming in a BMW or a Fortuner? You're an officer, you lead by your character, but not by you come out of a BMW and they will say, यार किसको ये गाड़ी दे दिया कहाँ से ले लिया होगा people will talk like that but you need to have that leadership quality you need to have that character to even come out of a BMW you know so that's what I'm getting there so I did not believe that I definitely beg to differ with my senior we insisted but ultimately I made the policy the management was very happy but that still that one officer in that entire organization continue to have mm, uh, breaking the policy and making the company buy him a Fortuner because he felt I need to come out of that if I was the director of the company. I was also director of the company, but I prefer to use a second-hand vehicle. I was driving my Sunny. I did not felt bad because I had a different purpose in life. It's not because I had already enjoyed all this as an officer here. I've served. I've been driving government vehicles with two people protecting you with guns. I have seen everything. So I was not that very, what to say, carried away by all these external things till date.
Very well said. It is one thing that somebody comes out of a BMW, but the more important thing is what kind of person is coming out from that BMW is more important. Very well said,
Absolutely.
Abram. I completely agree with you. Uh, and the question I would like to just follow with is, if character or building a character or demonstrating a character in our actions is so important in life to achieve success, then what are the two, three things or steps, according to you, uh, that helps somebody to build that kind of a character? What would be those things, according to you?
Number one is discipline, discipline. You get up at 5 means get up at 5. See, I get up at 3 a.m. in the morning. Come what may, even if I sleep at 12, I get up at 3. I have to get up means I have to get up. There is no compromise on that. घर में शादी हो कुछ भी हो, I have to get up at 3 means I have to get up at 3. And repetition is what consistency. Getting up every day or doing the same thing every day, this consistency was is what builds your character. ऐसे नहीं, ऐसी we all get motivated है ना. Motivation आएगा जाएगा. I hear you speak so well, I get motivated, tears are in my eyes, I say 10 affirmations, but after that I forget. Why are we again and again going to coaches to learn something to get motivated? नहीं है. इंस्पिरेशन है लाइफ में, मोटिवेशन की जरूरत नहीं है. Please remember, this motivation is temporary. Somebody hears me, they will feel motivated. 5-10 मिनट अच्छा लगेगा, एक बार और देखेंगे, सुनेंगे. बट अगर इंस्पायर होते हैं, मैंने लाइफ में कितना डिफिकल्टी से बाहर आया, चैलेंज को फेस किया, then that will be permanent. They don't need a coach to help them to come out. But if you're getting motivated only, that means it is temporary. So discipline important है and consistency. Again and again do this. And have a purpose in life, the most important है. इसलिए हम जी रहे हैं, वो अगर इतना पावरफुल है ना, आपको कुछ भी कर देगा. फिर ये छोटा मोटा ये सास बहू की स्टोरी है ना, that will not come in front of you. Because see, I am a woman, but at the same time I'm very strict with women. As an HR officer also, अगर लड़कियां रोती है ना, I'm very strict with them. If they tell their victimhood story and they say they are helpless, I can't accept it. प्लीज ये स्टोरी मत बताओ. मैं लड़की हूँ, मेरे साथ ऐसी हुआ. कौन अलाउ करता है ऐसे होने के लिए? वी ओनली अलाउ सच थिंग्स टू हैपन टू अस. सो आई डोंट बिलीव इन शोइंग माई वल्नरेबिलिटी दैट वे. भगवान ने सबको इक्वल ताकत दिया, बट इट्स अप टू यू हाउ यू वांट टू फाइट एंड कम आउट. तो आई एम लिटिल टफ विद वुमेन, इसलिए सोच समझ के मेरे अंडर में आते हैं. बट आई मेक देम रियल गुड वुमेन की आप अच्छे से चैलेंज फेस कर सकते हो लाइफ में. नहीं, आई डोंट लाइक क्राइंग ओवर थिंग्स एंड वीपिंग. बिकॉज आप जब विक्टिम हो जाते हैं ना, आपका टेंडेंसी होता है यू लाइक टू बी इन दैट कंपनी ओनली. You find 4 more women who are victims and you keep crying, and that's how the community builds. So there are many communities now available for women to cry and lament about how they have been wronged. ये मेरे साथ भी हुआ, तुम्हारे साथ हुआ, मेरे साथ हुआ. People talk about that. You know, it's not wrong if I share you blatantly one truth. I was not good at marketing. मुझे आता नहीं है marketing. So when I was attending a marketing class and they said कि आप you sell something. मुझे कुछ नहीं था, तो मैंने जो भी था, मैंने अबाउट डॉग्स भी था, तो मैंने एक ये बेचा था. सो दे सेड इट्स एक्सीलेंट, बट अपराजिता, यू विल नॉट मेक 1 rupee out of this. I said, sir, why? You said it is good, but then why are you telling this? Because you are not selling pain. Mind you, only pain sells in the market. And this is absolute truth I have realized today. 5 years down the line, I have realized अगर आप पेन बताओगी, people resonate with ये बिल्कुल है. Because but I don't talk about that. नहीं, पेन से बाहर कैसे निकलना है? मैं निकली, उसके बाद मुझे समझ में आया वो पेन था. As I told you honestly, मुझे नहीं पता था मैं डिप्रेशन में थी. मुझे नहीं पता था मैं ऐसे I was on a breakdown or collapse. बट लेकिन मुझे फोकस था कि मुझे करना है. उसकी बात now retrospectively after all the education I have got from the market, I'm realizing what a good story it was. But I don't talk about कि मैं depression में थी because everybody says this story if you know. I was in depression. I was pauper. I didn't have money. I borrowed money. That has happened in everyone's life here. It has happened in my life. But why speak about it? You have to teach women how to live. Come out of it. You have a beautiful life there. You have a purpose in there. I want to teach them that, not this. इसलिए I don't have a big community following because सच बोलती हूँ. Only people who resonate will come and work with me. I'm okay with it.
So powerful. So many powerful insights you have shared. Let me try to just break those down for our viewers.
Yeah.
First of all, it's so amazing. I was smiling when you were talking about all those insights because I'm seeing a person who is so versatile, who from becoming a SPG officer, guarding seven prime ministers, coming to completely a different domain and becoming a sales and marketing specialist. So it's very, very amazing to witness this. It's so amazing. And this definitely shows that anything is possible in life. The other thing which I was just trying to grasp from whatever you have said is that, yeah, you have said that discipline is something which we cannot compromise with. Discipline is
Very
always
true.
has priority. The consistency has to be there regardless of the condition that we go through. It's so aparabam. It's so, sometimes it sounds so reasonable when we talk about that. It's very, very cold. It's winter. It's like freezing cold. I don't want to go outside. I don't want to work today. I want to take rest. I want to stay comfortable. On the other hand, sometimes when we go through those Saas Bahu ki kahani, when we go through those kind of serials or any kind of maybe Netflix movie or any serial, it's so enjoyable. It sounds very reasonable that I would like to spend time with this comfort or with this fun, instead of going into that very, very rigorous work, going beyond the comfort zone, taking those aggressive steps or sometimes very risky steps. uh, at the same time, you are saying that we have to maintain the consistency. You have to be disciplined. Here again, I heard you mentioning about one very, very powerful thing which works as the fire from within in our lives, in our achieving our goals, achieving our dreams in our life, which is purpose of life. If you have the purpose, it really pushes you in spite of whatever condition which is there surrounding you. So this is something which I am understanding from you, that if you have a purpose, it gives you the power and the fire to overcome all those discomfort, to overcome all those inconveniences, and run after your dream, your goal, is what I am understanding. So you
Absolutely.
also mentioned about women. In today's women, if you look at, definitely women is progressing. If we compare with men, if you talk about 50 years back, 100 years back, women used to be very, very much behind men in India, especially. But if we compare today's scenario, it is much better. Still, I think a long, long way to go. So here, since we are discussing about uh, women, also, you yourself being a lady, you have actually lived by example as to how somebody can reach to that level at being a lady, coming from that kind of a humble background. So what would be your two three messages for the women in our society, especially in India? Over to you, madam.
See, women should first build their competency, Competency is very enough. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बिल्ड योर कॉम्पिटेंसी वॉट एवर यू वांट कुछ भी हो सकता है स्पोर्ट्स में हो कुकिंग में हो अपना कॉम्पिटेंसी बिल्ड करो जिससे आपको रेस्पेक्ट मिलेगा सी इफ यू आर नॉट गुड एट वर्क देन नेचुरली यू विल बी ट्रीटेड दैट वे ओनली यार लड़की है इससे नहीं हो पाएगा अगर आपके अंदर वो कॉम्पिटेंस है तो देन आप लड़ भी सकते हो कि क्यों नहीं हो सकता आपको चैलेंज करने का अधिकार होना चाहिए ना इन दैट सब्जेक्ट स्पेशलाइज दैट जो भी आपका कॉम्पिटेंसी किसी में भी आपको बिल्ड करना है बिल्ड करो कॉम्पिटेंसी उसकी बाद चैलेंज करो ना किसी को भी सेकेंडली ये मेन वुमेन का कुछ नहीं है, ठीक है? भगवान ने बनाया जैसे बनाया, लेकिन इक्वल कॉम्पिटेंस, इक्वल स्ट्रेंथ सबको दिया है। आप किसी में अच्छे हो, हम किसी में हैं। ये मेन आर लॉजिकल, दैट्स व्हाट दे से ना, मेन आर वेरी लॉजिकल, वुमेन आर वेरी इमोशनल एंड क्रिएटिव। लेकिन वो भी तो चाहिए ना। विदाउट क्रिएटिविटी, विदाउट दैट इमोशन, लाइफ कैसे होगा? जैसे अभी आज की डेट में, एआई के ज़माने में, यू हैव रोबोट्स फुलफिलिंग मोस्ट ऑफ आवर नीड्स, बट एंड ऑफ इट यू स्टिल नीड दैट ह्यूमन टच चाहिए ना आपको। वो दैट ओनली अ वुमन कैन ब्रिंग। सो देयर आर सो मेनी एरियाज दे कैन स्टिल कंट्रीब्यूट permanently in their lives. Women should, देखो, again the institution of marriage, because I feel bad, most of them fall out from the institution of marriage and family. उसी का तो प्रॉब्लम है। 60% तो हमारी फॉल आउट हो जाती है, लॉट ऑफ डाइवर्स केसेस, एंड इवन 22% married होके भी they are single. So these are the current problems they are battling with. So you feel bad. Again, if I retrospectively look back, in fact, I'm blessed that I have had an husband who could do away with all his seniority and then help me build my career. दोनों में करियर बिल्ड करना थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट रहता है, बिकॉज आज की डेट में एवरीथिंग गोज विथ लॉट ऑफ स्पीड, एक्सपेंशन, सब एम्बिशियस होते हैं। इट हैज टू बी अ विन विन सिचुएशन, समबडी हैज टू बी सैक्रिफाइसिंग, कुछ देना होना होगा। एंड स्पेशली हैविंग चिल्ड्रन, यू नो, इट्स अ बिग थिंग। men has to respect that, उनसे तो नहीं होगा, women have to bear the child। तो अभी कॉर्पोरेट्स में भी आप देखोगे, इफ यू गो ऑन अ लीव एंड देन दे डोंट टेक यू, हायर यू बैक। वो सब विमेन हो के भी आई हैव सीन दैट डिस्पैरिटी ना। आप होते हुए, हेल्म ऑफ अफेयर्स में होते हुए आप प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हो, बट समटाइम्स इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू गो अगेंस्ट द ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस पॉलिसी। तो women do face that कि आफ्टर चाइल्ड बर्थ दे कैन नॉट कम बैक, फिर वो नौकरी नहीं मिलती है, वो सीनियरिटी नहीं मिलती है। दैट्स व्हाई यू डोंट सी लॉट मेनी ऑफ देम। वॉल्यूम नहीं है। है तो पीपल हैव, women हैव कम टू द लीडरशिप लेवल, बट वॉल्यूम नहीं है बिकॉज ऑफ दिस, बिकॉज वो ब्रेक हो ही जाता है ना। सो अभी आप देखो आने वाला जनरेशन में क्या हो रहा है। women आर वेरी कॉन्शियस अबाउट देयर लीडरशिप, सो दे डोंट गेट मैरिड। अगर मैरिड है तो दे डोंट हैव चिल्ड्रन, बिकॉज दे डोंट वांट देयर ब्रेक इन सर्विस ना। सो सी, सोसाइटी में, इंस्टीट्यूशन में ऐसे कुछ होना चाहिए लॉ फेवरेबल, सो दैट शादी भी हुए, इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ मैरिज इज सक्सेसफुल, लोगों की फैमिली भी बढ़े, एंड एट द सेम टाइम इफ यू आर टैलेंटेड यू शुड बी एबल टू कम अप। गवर्नमेंट में पॉलिसीज रिफाइन हो गई, यू आर गिवन लॉट ऑफ लीव, इनफैक्ट 1 ईयर तक यू कैन टेक केयर ऑफ योर चाइल्ड, बट प्राइवेट में ऐसे नहीं है, बिकॉज प्राइवेट में एवरी मिनट को पैसे से ही देखते हैं ना। डिफिकल्ट, अभी भी फेवरेबल नहीं है सिचुएशन।
Right. Abram, ma'am, another thing which I was just thinking about is absolutely it's right that in today's era, a lot of women are becoming successful and they are going to highest levels. For example, our honorable finance minister of our country. She is actually, in her third term, and she is not only successful, but she is uh, able to take the country's economy to the next level. And it's a record kind of a performance that she is able to demonstrate. This is a great example that uh, women are becoming successful nowadays, and there are a lot many other examples as well. But however, there is a question mark which I come across most of the time, which is that if a woman follows her passion, if a woman becomes successful in her own career or business. In some cases, in most cases, we have seen that that lady becomes alone. She gets divorced, or her husband does not accept, or her husband cannot accept the fact that his wife is more successful than men or than the husband. So that is something which, in some cases, we are able to see. In your case, I am 100% sure you had also mentioned that you had been very lucky that your husband has been so supportive to you in terms of striving after your career, your dreams. But what do you think? What is your take on this in our society? Is this a problem which is there in our society now? What do you
Yeah,
think about this?
big problem. मैं तो आई विल बी वेरी हॉनेस्ट ना, जो मेरे साथ हुआ है, इफ माय हस्बैंड वाज दैट वेरी सक्सेसफुल एंड इफ आई हैड टू लीव माय सीनियरिटी एंड जॉइन हिम, आई वुड नॉट हैव डन इट। लेट मी बी हॉनेस्ट। मैं मेरा हस्बैंड जैसा इतना अच्छी नहीं हूँ उस पार्ट पे। ही वाज सो ग्रेट अ पर्सन, ही कुड लीव एवरीथिंग फॉर द सेक ऑफ हिज फैमिली एंड जॉइन मी। लेकिन मैं एक पुलिस ऑफिसर थी, अगर मुझे ऐसे कुछ सीनियरिटी छोड़ के जाना होता तो मैं 10 बार सोचती कि मुझे छोड़ना है क्या करके। तो दैट्स व्हाट इज हैपनिंग। तो everybody does not get a good husband like that. Every wife is not like that. So ultimately, the powerful person of the two wins. So ultimately, what do? They have to sacrifice their relationship. That's all. ये हो रहा है because पहले जैसे नहीं है ना, women everyone want to, they also want to be on the top, they want to be successful because financial independence is a very important thing these days ना। पहले जमाने में ऐसे नहीं था, people thought कि women they get married they will be taken care by the husband etc etc, but not। अभी तो ऐसा नहीं है, everybody has to be independent, financially independent to take care of your parents। लड़की हो लड़का हो, you still have to take care of your family। ऐसे क्यों है कि only boys will have to take care of the parents, girls take better care of parents। तो you have to be financially independent first to get that going। So I know, but this is a major problem these days कि the institution of marriage is failing because दोनों पावरफुल इंसान है, दोनों को सक्सेस करना है। आई थिंक दे मे हैव टू, लव मैरिज हो अरेंज्ड मैरिज हो, एवरीथिंग इज फेलिंग। या आई सेड 66% तो फेलियर ही हो रहा है। एंड शादी होके भी सिंगल है, ये भी, ये सबसे पेनफुल थिंग ये है। एंड एट सम लेवल दे आर कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग, ये अराउंड 8% है। दे आर डाइवर्स नहीं करते हैं बट फॉर द सेक ऑफ चिल्ड्रन दे आर लिविंग इन द सेम हाउस सेपरेटली। ऐसे केसेस बहुत
That is more painful, you were saying.
very painful, you know। or therefore some people, they have been a whole homemaker always, they have given everything, made their husband's career successful, बच्चों को अच्छा बना दिया, उसके बाद क्या? nobody cares for them ना। and now they feel कि मैंने सारी जिंदगी सब कुछ दिया, अब मैं क्या हूँ? they don't have an identity। तो ऐसे भी एक ग्रुप है, तो उनको क्या करना है? बिकॉज ऑल देयर लाइफ दे सैक्रिफाइस्ड। तो उनको हमें सेल्फ सफिशिएंट और फाइनेंशियली स्टेबल बनाना है सो दैट दे आल्सो अर्न दैट। तो ऐसे ग्रुप ऑफ वुमेन है कि सच में फॉर डूइंग देयर ड्यूटी, तो उनको कुछ नहीं मिला ना लाइफ में। सब भूल गए, बच्चे भी भूल जाते हैं, हस्बैंड भी भूल जाता है, एंड उनके पास वो अपना स्किल्स भी भूल चुके हैं 20 साल 22 साल फैमिली को देने से। एंड व्हाट हैपेंस? दैट इज व्हाई यंगर जनरेशन इज वेरी स्मार्ट। पहले आई विल टेक केयर ऑफ माई सन, उसकी बात ही बात है। इन अ वे दे आर करेक्ट, बट फॉर पेरेंट्स इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू डील विद दिस जनरेशन, वेरी डिफिकल्ट।
Actually, why I am asking is because this is a very, very relevant topic nowadays, and it's a real problem in our society. And people are going through this kind of challenges in every
Yeah,
nook and corner of the country. And coming back to the point which I was mentioning, uh, maybe 20, 30, 50 years before now, life used to be like that. Wives, they have to take care of the family, they have to take care of the children, household, and the man, the husband has to bring home the money, or he has to take care of the expenses and the income and etc. But we have come to a level, the society has come to a level today that women are also becoming successful, and in many cases women are so talented, women are able to do much better in terms of their career, in terms of their earning, in terms of their overall management of the family. In those cases what I'm seeing is that in a particular typical family, husband is not doing so well, but the wife is already doing well and she has the potential of doing much better in future. However, the practical problem is that she is not given that liberty or the permission to run after her career, and that's why there is a
Mm.
restriction. This is a big issue in the society. On the other hand, had there been the other way around, if the husband is doing well, if he has the potential to do much better in future, and the wife, even if she is working, she is not doing so well, in that case, there is no question about it that the woman will slowly give away or give up, and the husband will move forward, and there is no problem in that at all. So that is because of the kind of ongoing perception that our society had been having since earlier, but time is changing. So this is where I would say it's a practical problem that we are going through. I'm sure, slowly the society will understand as the awareness actually grows. Things will change. In there are many families, there are many husbands who are understanding this perspective, and they are giving that space or the opportunity to the wife, because if the wife is successful, the family is successful, isn't it? So if either of the two, either a wife or the husband is able to be successful in terms of earning, in terms of building a career, building name and fame, it is actually success for the entire family, for both of them. So I think if we are able to understand that by both husband and wife, things will become much better, is what I would like to say. This is a real problem. So,
Yeah.
Paramam, the
I would
follow-up
just
question
like
which
to
I
add just one line to
yes,
what you're
yes,
telling. Like
yeah,
how women play a very important role. If you go through Instagram, people will talk about toxic relationship. You get out of this relationship, etc., etc. Men are like this. तो सब लोग उसी reel को follow करेंगे. 100 more reels will be made on that. But end of it, who is the mother of that boy? Woman. तो एक वुमन का कितना बड़ा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है हाउ यू मेक अप योर चाइल्ड आपका बच्चा कैसे बड़ा होगा ये आपके अंदर है इट्स योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी तो अगर इफ आई फेल एज अ मदर इन ब्रिंगिंग अप माय चिल्ड्रन in a proper manner in rearing up them properly then I'm letting loose two loose cannons na to become toxic husbands later on and later on they will become toxic sons also the end of it, women are harbingers of their own problem. Some women like us, some mothers like us, did not pay attention to their children. तो वो जो उसको कमी रही जो उसने अपना फादर को देखा मदर को देखा वही तो वो रेप्लिकेट करना है तो एंड ऑफ इट वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड कि अगर आप if you give birth to children take them well and again it will come whether आप लीडरशिप की बात करते हो और आप क्या बात करते हो कैरेक्टर इज व्हाट मेक्स यू तो घर में आप देखते हो वही तो ना इफ यू आर नॉट गुड टू योर हस्बैंड इफ दिस सन सीज फादर not behaving well with the mother that is what he will do outside and if he sees that clash in the house कि ईगो मैं बड़ी हूँ तुम बड़ी हूँ पैसा इंपॉर्टेंट है तुम मैं है तो वही वो करेगा he will become like that only he will not allow his wife to work he will not allow his wife to shine है ना तो मैं कहाँ आ रही हूँ दैट इज व्हाट आई वांट टू हेल्प विमेन कि आप फ्रॉम दैट स्टेज ओनली आई वांट टू हेल्प देम कि अगर आप माँ बन रही हो तो गिव बर्थ टू चिल्ड्रन डोंट प्लांट योर नेगेटिविटीज ये स्टोरीज मत प्लांट करना बच्चों को हम वूम से ही स्टार्ट कर देते हैं डिप्रेशन हो गया मेरा ये हो गया वो हो गया करके कहाँ ये डिप्रेशन वर्ड एक आ गया एवरीबडी सेज दिस कि मुझे डिप्रेशन हो गया क्या डिप्रेशन है डिप्रेशन इज व्हाट वी मेक इट ना कैसे कोई हमें डिप्रेस कर सकता है अब फाइट ही नहीं किया फिर डिप्रेशन कैसे होगा फाइट करो ना मैं अभी डिप्रेशन वर्ड तो अभी है दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड जोकिंगली अभी मुझे समझ में आ रहा है मुझे मेरे साथ जो हुआ है उस टाइम वो शायद डिप्रेशन था मुझे नहीं पता है तो आई एम टेलिंग एंड ऑफ इट कैसे भी जिंदगी आदमी का भी हो उसके लिए एक औरत का रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बहुत बड़ा है हाउ गुड चिल्ड्रन यू आर मेकिंग एंड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ अ पेरेंट्स अभी इसमें तो हम कितना पैम्पर करते हैं बच्चे को उस जमाने में क्या है इवन मैंने गॉट यूनिवर्सिटी थर्ड रैंक ठीक है बस उतने ही आप नेशनल की बिगेस्ट मेडल भी लेके आओ ठीक है ओके गुड बस उतना ही ये थोड़ी ना कोई सेलिब्रेशन होता था घर में बिकॉज इट वॉज एक्सपेक्टेड कि यू डू वेल दैट्स ऑल तो अगेन लर्निंग अब इस जमाने में अगर पेरेंट्स मेरी पेरेंट्स कितना स्ट्रिक्ट थे और मार भी पड़ता था 14 साल 15 साल तक तो अगर आप टच करके देखो, आज के बच्चे पुलिस बुला लेंगे, है ना? उस ज़माने में तो ऐसे नहीं था। तो लॉट ऑफ लर्निंग्स अपना, तो आई थिंक अगेन द वुमन इज़ वेरी पावरफुल, शी कैन क्रिएट व्हाटएवर शी वांट्स। अच्छे बच्चे भी क्रिएट कर सकते हैं। अगर खराब हस्बैंड मिल रहे हैं तो हम जैसे कोई मदर ने ठीक से काम नहीं किया। अगेन वी हैव टू ब्लेम अनदर वुमन ओनली। इसमें किसी और की कोई दोष नहीं।
Para
मेनी
ma'am,
वुमेन
it's
विल
a
नॉट
very,
लाइक
very
इट बट दिस
important.
इज द ट्रूथ। ट्रूथ है। आप बैठ के रेमिनिसेंस करके रेजोनेट रूमिनेट करके देखो, यही सच है। समवेयर दैट, जिसको भी आप टॉक्सिक बोलती हो, उसका मदर की कुछ मिसगिविंग है। दैट्स व्हाई दैट बच्चा हैज बिकम लाइक दैट। सो आई फील
Para
बैड
ma'am,
फॉर
this
इट।
is a very, very important topic that we are dealing with at the moment. I would like to just dive it further, maybe on two more aspects on this particular same problem. In this society, in most cases, girls are made to believe that they are weak from the childhood itself. During their upbringing, in most of the cases, the parents do believe that the parents already believe that girl child is like, she is not capable compared to a boy child. That's why they prefer boy, and they believe that boys can take care of them in a better manner when they become old. I would say it's a myth. If a girl is successful, sorry, a girl, when they become successful, they can take care of their parents even better than uh, a man, is what I do believe. It's the there are so many examples of that which I have seen. But however, the problem now, the real problem is that the girls are made to believe that they are weak, they are incapable, they are less capable compared to boy or man. So, because of this perception, it is working like girls are hypnotized in that manner, saying that they are weak. Because of that, they don't even fight. They don't even have that dream. They don't have even that vision that I will become somebody. I'll become successful. I'll become somebody in this society, in this country, or in the world, and I'll take care of my family. I'll make my family, my parents proud. So they don't even dream about it. If somebody do not dream about it, how they will become successful, how they will become that kind of a person. So the problem itself is there, and very few number of people, or if you look at the percentage, maybe 20 to 30% of the girls, they are determined by themselves from within. Because of that, they are fighting out, they are striving, and they are you know following their dreams and becoming successful. You are one of them. So I think
Right.
this is another problem. And on the other hand, one more problem which I come across is that in today's age, we talk about women empowerment, and everywhere in the government schemes, or in every, even in the corporates also, we talk about women empowerment nowadays. And there are at least a lot of strategies, a lot of schemes, a lot of plans from the government as well as in the corporates that women has to be empowered. Some advantage has been given to the women, and there are many organizations who support in the women whenever there is a problem which goes on between husband and wife. The organizations come forward and they support wife in terms of fighting the case, or facing in the court or something like that. But the problem here in many cases, what I see is that uh, because of these empowerment facilities or schemes which is there, support system which is there, some women are taking advantage of that. They are harassing men to large extent. In many cases, many honest straightforward men are becoming victim of that. This is also an
Victims.
issue which is present in our society, isn't it? What do you
I
think
agree.
about this?
I agree absolutely 100%. Because not only I deal with women but men also. So many of the cases come are like this only. They are innocent victims. And women marry and they become very avaricious. They want to have lot of money. They divorce and they put all nonsensical case on the mother-in-law. They go even to the extent of telling the mother is having relationship with son just to fleece money. They can go to any extent. And some women, they don't even know. When you ask them, they say कि मुझे नहीं पता. My parents wrote whatever वकील को बोल के लिख दिया. मतलब how can you be like this? So I absolutely agree with you. देखो सारे दूध की धुले हुए नहीं है. Now they अब criminal mind सिर्फ men का नहीं है, women की भी है. Now they also go through this to make quick money. तो इजी है. देखो रेपुटेशन एक इम्पोर्टेंट है. हर आदमी के लिए अपना रेपुटेशन अच्छा है. कोई भी जेल नहीं जाना चाहता है फॉर नो मिस्टेक. तो इस चीज को दे मेक यूज ऑफ इट. एंड मिडिल मैन जो भी बीच में लॉयर्स है, पुलिस ऑफिसर्स हैं, ऑल ऑफ देम मेक गुड दिस थिंग आउट ऑफ इट. कि बिकॉज कोई भी जेल नहीं जाना चाहता है. ये फैमिली का रेपुटेशन क्या होगा, फिर दोबारा शादी नहीं होगा, ये सब चीजें हैं. तो आप जो बोल रहे हो है करते हैं. मेल भी करता है, फीमेल भी करते हैं, ऐसे नहीं है. आई डोंट रूल इट आउट. इसलिए अगर मेरे पास आते हैं ना, दैट इज व्हाई आई वाज टेलिंग नॉट मेनी विल लाइक बीइंग अ वुमन. आई डोंट ऑलवेज सपोर्ट वुमेन. मैं मेरी वैल्यूज है कि मैं सही है तो मैं सपोर्ट करूंगी. आई विल गिव माई लाइफ फॉर देम. आई विल फाइट फॉर देम. अगर गलत है तो मैं नहीं करती हूँ. क्योंकि आप है ना, आपके पास बहुत लोग आते हैं, इसको ऐसे मेरा कर दो, वो कर दो. मैं नहीं करती हूँ ऐसे काम. आई डोंट डील. आप बाद में पूछोगे, ऐसे केसेस में नहीं टेक करती हूँ. इट्स नॉट अबाउट मेकिंग मनी. इट्स अबाउट हैविंग एथिक्स इन वॉट एवर यू आर डूइंग. अगर आप वो फॉलो नहीं करोगी, कैसे करोगी? रात को नींद नहीं आएगी. नो, आई डोंट ब्रेक फैमिलीज और आई डोंट ज्वाइन पीपल बिकॉज आई वॉन्ट टू मेक मनी. नो, नॉट एट ऑल. अगर एथिकल नहीं है, आई ऑलवेज से डोंट कम टू मी एट ऑल. सॉरी, आई कांट डू इट. तो आई एग्री. आप जो बोल रहे हो सच है. ऐसे बहुत केसेस हैं एंड आई हैव हेल्प्ड सो मेनी ऑफ देम. जो भी करना था मुझे, मैंने किया है. Agree.
Absolutely.
क्योंकि अगेन अगेन पेरेंटल ये है ना. उनकी पेरेंट्स ऐसे है ना, लड़की की पेरेंट्स ऐसे हैं. व्हाई डिड द मदर नॉट टीच गुड थिंग्स टू द डॉटर? कैसे वो मदर अलाउ कर रही है अपना बेटी को ऐसे करने के लिए? अगेन कहाँ घूम के वही आंसर जाती है ना. रूट कॉज
Correct.
वही है. एक वुमन ही है. दूसरा वुमन को अच्छा बनाना, खराब बनाना वुमन ही है. यू ऑल लर्न फ्रॉम दैट.
Absolutely. These are real problems that we go through in our society. And I would like to say that if we are able to have that character, ethics, legal, loyal, and a good citizen, and a person who wants to take the world to the next level, at least plus one, not to make minus one. And if somebody tries for it, I think if everybody tries for it in our society, definitely these kind of things will come down, and this will not exist. Is what very confidently I would like to say.
Yeah, I
Another
agree.
point, Apara, just to follow up on this, another issue or another problem many couples or many families normally go through is that when they have children, it's very important that the children also are given that platform. They are actually brought up well so that they are set up for success in their own society, because they are going to be the pillars of future. And in cases where both husband and wife go for work, in that kind of situation, do you think that there are some areas where we really do miss out in terms of taking care of the children? Do you think so? Or between the husband and the wife, if one of them is able to bring in enough money for the family to fulfill not only their survival but also to fulfill their dreams, in that case, should one of them uh, not work and take care of their children? Or what do you think? We should have a scenario or arrangement wherein both of them should work and also take care of the children. And in that case, how do we take care of the children so that we are not missing out anything in terms of fulfilling their way forward? What do you think, Abraham?
Uh, One thing I don't agree that when you say that one of them should not work, because you don't know what life has in stake for you. I will give my example. When I
Okay.
confessed that I have fallen in love, my mother said, "You bundle all this up. First, become financially independent." That's what she told me. But I thought, क्या करना है? Because that's your upbringing, ना? शादी होंगे तो husband will take care. There are so many people to take care. Why this money point is coming? Without realizing it. But later on, of course, ठीक है. I did not stop studying. I became whatever I had to become. And God forbid something happened to me and I lost my husband overnight, then how I would have brought my children to wherever they are, or how I would have become me had I not had that education or that job. तो इसलिए जॉब होना जरूरी है, फाइनेंशियल इंडिपेंडेंस होना है. लेकिन अगर हस्बैंड वाइफ दोनों फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट होना चाहिए, दोनों बच्चों को टाइम देना चाहिए. ऐसे नहीं है आप एटर्नली और 24 hours बिजी. सी यू कैन ऑलवेज कट डाउन ऑन योर सोशल सर्कल. पार्टी करना जरूरी नहीं है, बट गिव द टाइम टू द चिल्ड्रन इज इम्पोर्टेंट. आज की डेट में क्या होता है, पेरेंट्स डोंट वांट टू सिट विद द चिल्ड्रन ना, लिसन टू देयर कैकोफोनी. जो भी स्कूल में होता है, कितनी पेरेंट्स बैठ के सुनते हैं. हम लोग तो, इफ यू ऑल्सो रिमेम्बर, मदर की कान तो फट जाती है कि पूरी चीज बताने, जैसे स्कूल बस से उतरे शाम तक क्या हुआ, यू विल टेल एवरीथिंग दैट हैपन. आज की डेट में बच्चे शेयर करते हैं, नहीं करते हैं, बिकॉज मदर्स ऑल्सो डोंट वांट टू लिसन. आई हैव सीन, जस्ट टू एंगेज दिस चाइल्ड दे विल गिव द फोन. तो आपने क्या दे दिया उनके हाथ में? तो आपने तो वो दे दिया, बस दे नो दिस इज अ सप्लीमेंट फॉर माय पेरेंट्स. फिर आप बाद में बोलोगी मेरा बच्चा गलत देख रहा है, वो देख रहा है. एंड सम पेरेंट्स, किसी केस में मुझे इतना दुख होता है, आप एक ही हाउस में है, फादर मदर, आपको पता नहीं है बच्चा कमरे के अंदर क्या कर रहा है. How does he get into addiction? How does he get into habits? That's because we are not spending enough time with the children. आप पिक्चर पिक्चर देखने मत जाओ, मॉल में घूमने मत जाओ, होटल मत जाओ, बट स्पेंड द टाइम विथ योर चिल्ड्रन ना. कि नहीं होता है ना, बिकॉज से आप अगर दोनों अर्निंग है, आप ये सब जगह नहीं जाओगी तो आप अपना वेल्थ को कैसे फ्लॉन्ट करोगे? Again, many would not like me telling this, but this is the truth. You are doing all that at the cost of what? Your children, जो इस कंट्री की फ्यूचर है. दुख होता है ना. अभी आप देखो, हर घर में यही प्रॉब्लम है कि बच्चा का कुछ भी एडिक्शन नहीं है तो मोबाइल एडिक्शन है. एंड वी आर सीइंग व्हाट इज हैपनिंग अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड. वी फील सो सैड, बिकॉज पहले तो घर में होते होते मम्मी पापा के साथ भी एंटरटेनमेंट हो जाते हैं. आजकल नहीं है ना, बिकॉज पेशेंस नहीं है. बच्चे तो पैदा कर लेते हैं. हु हैज द पेशेंस टू लिसन टू ऑल देयर नॉनसेंस? दे विल आस्क थाउजेंड्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. किसके पास टाइम है? तो वी गिव देम अ बुक, फिर उसके लिए एक कोच रख देते हैं, उसके लिए एक क्लास में डाल देते हैं. तो चाइल्ड का भी क्या लाइफ है? स्कूल से आता है, फिर ट्यूशन जाता है, ट्यूशन में पढ़ता है, नहीं तो ऑनलाइन क्लास अटेंड करता है. मतलब उसका लाइफ को ऐसे कर दिया कि वो फ्रीडम ही खत्म हो गया. बच्चे को अपना टाइम देना चाहिए ना. तो इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. क्या करें, बट एवरीवन हैज टू वर्क टुगेदर. अकेले तो आप रेवोल्यूशन नहीं ला सकते. एवरी पर्सन, यू लाइक यू एंड मी, शुड थिंक लाइक दैट, एंड वी शुड वर्क टुगेदर टू कम आउट विद अ सोल्यूशन. सो दैट, जैसे मेरे पेरेंट्स ने मुझे सपोर्ट किया कि टू टेक केयर ऑफ द चाइल्ड व्हाइल आई कुड गो आउट ऑन ड्यूटीज. अब आज के जमाने में इफ आई हैड अ डॉटर, आई वुड नॉट बीन एबल टू डू इट. यू एग्री? क्योंकि मैं अभी तक काम कर रही हूँ फॉर सम रीजन, यू नो, बिकॉज ऑफ माई पर्पस ऑफ लाइफ. तो मेरा बेटी का बच्चे में इतना नहीं संभाल सकती हूँ. मेरे पास खुद का काम है. तो डिफरेंस आ गया. तो ऐसे कितनी घर में ऐसी प्रॉब्लम होगी. तो अगर बच्चे संभालने कोई नहीं है, एंड मोस्ट बिकॉज आजकल कौन सी वुमेन लाइक टू लिव इन अ जॉइंट फैमिली? है नहीं ना. दैट इज ऑलरेडी ब्रोकन. माई फैमिली, योर फैमिली हो गया. तो माई फैमिली में तो दो तीन लोग ही है ना, वो दो तीन लोग कैसे संभाल पाएंगे? इसीलिए तो पहले पुराने लाइक बड़े लोग घर में रहते थे, कुछ भी नहीं है तो बच्चे संभालते थे. अब आज की डेट में, इफ योर चाइल्ड इज इन अमेरिका, तो द मदर और द फादर गेट्स अ चांस टू फ्लाई डाउन एंड टेक केयर ऑफ द चाइल्ड देयर एंड कम बैक. नहीं तो वो मौका भी नहीं मिलता. तो, तो वो इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ मैरिज, बिकॉज वो टॉलरेंस लेवल खत्म हो गया. बिकॉज दे वांट न्यूक्लियर फैमिलीज ना, छोटा छोटा फैमिली हो गया, तो प्रॉब्लम्स बड़ा हो गया. पहले तो हम किसी से बात कर सकते थे, लड़ाई भी होता था तो घर में दो लोग और सुन रहे होते ना, दे विल इंटरवीन. आज की डेट में एवरीथिंग हैपेंस इन साइलेंस, कुछ पता नहीं है. तो बच्चा भी अफेक्ट होता है, ये भी होता है. आई एग्री 100%. आप जो बोल रहे हो ये बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है आज की डेट. बिकॉज आई एम सीइंग द नंबर ऑफ पेरेंट्स, अगर टाइम दे रहे हैं तो बच्चे नहीं रेडी हैं। एंड आजकल के बच्चे की पता है साइकी, इस जनरेशन क्या सोचता है। अगर आप पहले जमाने में साल में एक न्यू ड्रेस मिलती थी, बट वी आर सो ग्रेटफुल टिल डेट। आई रिमेम्बर कि साल में एक बार न्यू ड्रेस मिलेगा करके दिवाली पे। आज तक आई रिमेम्बर एंड आई एम ग्रेटफुल। लेकिन आजकल के बच्चे क्या सोचते हैं, पैदा किया है तो तुम्हें तो ये करना ही है ना। दे इवन एक्सपेक्ट यू टू लीव वेल्थ एंड गो। दिस इज द यंगेस्ट जनरेशन दैट इज थिंकिंग बिकॉज इट्स योर रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, बिकॉज दैट देन व्हाई एट ऑल यू गिव बर्थ। यही सोचते हैं। डिफरेंस है ना जनरेशन में। तो हम लोग भी तो ऐसे हैं, हमने अपना लाइफ एंजॉय नहीं किया। वी हैव बीन अर्निंग फॉर द फ्यूचर जनरेशन। तो ऐसे भी ना होए कि हम भी वो ग्रीफ के साथ मरे हैं कि यार हम मैंने तो कुछ किया नहीं, सब बच्चे के लिए किया, लास्ट में बच्चे हैं। एक्सपेक्टेशन मत रखो। मैं तो आज की पेरेंट्स को मैं यही बोलूंगी, एक्सपेक्टेशन ही मत रखो दैट somebody will be there to look after you। लास्ट तक आप इंडिपेंडेंट रहो, बस ऐसे हो जाना चाहिए, ऐसे होना चाहिए। ऐसे सोचे तो लाइफ अच्छा रहेगा। अगर आप एक्सपेक्ट करोगे मैंने आपको ये दिया वो दिया, तुम तो मुझको कुछ नहीं दिया, तो यू नो यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई सो मेनी ओल्ड एज होम्स आर कमिंग अप। व्हाई चिल्ड्रन,
Absolutely.
हम तो डॉग की बात मैं कर रही थी, चिल्ड्रन आर अबैंडनिंग देयर पेरेंट्स। फिर कहाँ से आप एनिमल की बात कर रहे हो, है ना।
Absolutely, Apara ma'am. I think we are discussing some genuine problems that are going on in
सेंसिटिव
our
ऑल्सो,
society
वेरी
today.
वेरी
I'm
सेंसिटिव।
very sensitive also. This video will send out some messages to the viewers, to the people, and I would like to sincerely invite our viewers in terms of what do they feel about those problems and what are their views and what are their
Yeah,
suggestions on that. And our viewers comments and suggestions will be very very helpful to us in terms
yeah.
of taking this conversation forward.
Mm.
And this is a conversation which is not just about our podcast. This is a conversation which would be happening in every nook and corner of the
Yeah,
society in this country, and this is a real
yeah,
problem. And as we move
yeah.
forward, I'm sure as the
And
time
really, we want
progresses,
to, yeah,
yeah, we will progress.
really, we want to solve this, na? As people, as good citizens, we really want to solve this. That's why it's better they come out with suggestions so that we all put our minds together and come out with the solutions so that future generation be institution of marriage में enter करे। Let them also have children, let them also enjoy everything ना। जो हमने किया, let them also do। And as with senior people still living, I think we should give back to the society, each and every one of us। क्योंकि हम लोग ने अच्छे से जिंदगी जिया ना, with family and with our parents, so we should not deny the coming generations of that pleasure। So we should give them and we should create a win-win situation। Younger generation भी ऐसे सोचे to live, and so that we can help them in fulfilling their dreams। Every woman should fulfill her dream। आई एम रेडी टू हेल्प। ऐसे हर एक इंसान को सोचना चाहिए।
Absolutely. So, to our viewers, the opinions and the views that we have discussed in this particular conversation is strictly our personal views, and this is
Yeah,
what we feel from
correct।
our experience and from our learnings from our own
Yeah,
journeys. And at the same time, I am discussing these issues because while we discuss in this particular podcast about the means and ways and strategies as to how we achieve success in life by design and live a fulfilled and meaningful life. One particular issue is that even if we are successful in our careers or in our business, if we are not able to navigate through these kind of common problems that we normally have in our family life, our life cannot be meaningful, our life cannot be fulfilling. So that is specifically the reason why I have brought up this issue that we are facing in our society. And in our society, 80 to 85% of the families do have this problem in some level. So that is why we have tried to touch upon this issue. I'm so thankful to Apara ma'am that she has shared her views and opinions in such a proper and elaborate manner, so that our viewers also can take some learning, some lessons, or at the same time they can maybe think through all these points that she had mentioned about. So coming back to my next question, Apara ma'am, what does success mean in our life according to you?
गुड क्वेश्चन। सक्सेस आप क्या बोलोगे? सक्सेस है कि आप जब अपना पर्पस के साथ चले गए हो, दैट्स योर सक्सेस। लाइफ में एक पर्पस होना ही एक सक्सेस है, क्योंकि बिकॉज एज यू आर टेलिंग, when you want to, I'm trying to explain and make it clear, I don't know how to put it explicitly, बताएं। you said ना कि मॉर्निंग में गेट अप यू फील कि यार ठीक है, आज रिलैक्स करें, चलो ये सीरियल देख लेते हैं, ऐसे हम सोचते हैं, एज ए नॉर्मल इंसान सोचते हैं। बट आपके पास एक पर्पस है ना, वो आपको मारेगा पीछे की उठो, कि बिकॉज यू कैन अफोर्ड टू वेस्ट टाइम। तो लाइफ में, बिकॉज क्यों मैं बता रही हूँ, पीपल ऑलवेज will relate the amount of money and wealth you have and then they say you are successful। यार वो आदमी बहुत बड़ा सक्सेसफुल है, उसके पास 3 गाड़ी है, 4 घर है, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा बोलेगा। आई ऑलवेज टेल माई चिल्ड्रन, मे बी बाद में आपको कोई कंप्लेंट हो सकता है कि इस मदर ने आपके लिए कोई 10 घर तो नहीं छोड़ा, मैंने इतनी वेल्थ तो नहीं छोड़ा। नो, आई कांट लीव माई चिल्ड्रन एनीथिंग लाइक दैट बिकॉज ऑफ माई पर्पस इन लाइफ। लेकिन गॉड इज सो काइंड, एटलीस्ट मेरे को गुड हेल्थ को दिया। यू आर नॉट रनिंग विथ योर मदर टू दी हॉस्पिटल। आप समझ लो यू आर गिफ्टेड दिस वे। पैसा तो मैं भी बनाती हूँ, पैसा तो मैं, आई अर्न लॉट ऑफ मनी। So success, according to me, is different. But generally, people imagine success to be very dramatic because they always, certain things are very akin to success, like your what you have accumulated as wealth, as authority and respect. That is how people call you successful. अब मुझे कोई देखेगा, कोई सक्सेसफुल नहीं बोलेगा if they don't know my past, seeing my present, people will not call me सक्सेस। मैं अगर फील करती हूँ सक्सेस कब होता है, जब आपके अंदर कंसिस्टेंसी होता है एंड द विल टू शो अप व्हेन नो वन एल्स इज वाचिंग, दैट इज योर सक्सेस। समझ रहे हो? इफ someone was watching me, I had to get up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. every day to be into that regiment of discipline। आज की डेट में मुझे कोई नहीं देख रहा है, but still you follow the same regiment and discipline and consistency, and that is success। लेकिन दुनिया को क्या है, आपका वेल्थ और आपका अथॉरिटी, यही आपकी सक्सेस है। लेकिन मैं एक ही चीज आपको बताऊंगी, जैसे आपने ही बोला था, गेटिंग अप is difficult sometimes, keeping your focus and not watching टीवी और सीरियल्स इज डिफिकल्ट। लेकिन अगर आपका पास एक पर्पस है लाइफ में, सबसे बड़ा सक्सेस लाइफ में आपको ही है। यू डोंट हैव टू हैव एनीथिंग एल्स इन लाइफ। अगर एक जीने का वजह हो गया ना, तो अपने आप बाकी सब बन जाएगा। दैट्स द ओनली मैसेज आई वांट टू गिव। हैव अ पर्पस, बिकॉज आई वाज आल्सो, मैं कोई दूध की धुली नहीं हूँ। आई वाज आल्सो रनिंग आफ्टर मेडल्स, आई वाज आल्सो रनिंग आफ्टर पोजीशन, सब कुछ एवरीवेयर आई वांटेड टू बी फर्स्ट फर्स्ट फर्स्ट। ये आदत सी हो गई थी टू बी द फर्स्ट, फर्स्ट वुमन, फर्स्ट वुमन, फर्स्ट लीडर, फर्स्ट फर्स्ट फर्स्ट। लेकिन मेरी भी एक दिन रियलाइजेशन आया, टप से ऊपर से नीचे मैं खुद आ गया। बिफोर मुझे कोई गिरा है, मैं खुद आ गया। आई रियलाइज्ड द मिस्टेक्स आई वाज डूइंग। तो मैं आउट ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस बता रही हूँ, एक पर्पस है लाइफ में। सब लोगों को कुछ नहीं है। डोंट गो टू कोचेस फॉर हैविंग बिग ड्रीम्स और मैनिफेस्टिंग। फाइंड द पर्पस ऑफ योर लाइफ एंड योर सेट। मेरे को मान लो 45 साल में मुझे पर्पस मिली है। अगर आपको 25 साल में पर्पस मिल जाता तो देन यू विल बी आउट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड। मुझे लगता है कि मैंने बहुत टाइम वेस्ट कर लिया रनिंग आफ्टर मेडल्स एंड पोजीशंस। इट डजंट मैटर टू मी एनीमोर। सो दैट्स व्हाट आई कॉल इट एज सक्सेस। हैव अ पर्पस इन योर लाइफ।
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is not about how much you have accumulated in your life, how many houses, how many cars. It is not about that. How many bank balance. It is not about that. What kind of title, what kind of position you have been able to achieve. Success is not about that. Success is all about having a purpose, and also you are consistently progressing with respect to your purpose. That is
Yes.
success for you. It's so well explained, so well defined. Aparamam, thank you so much. You have shared so many important life lessons. You have shared your viewpoints, insights, your own experiences. Thank you so much for that. Our viewers would have been benefited out of those conversations or your insights that you had shared. Thank you so much. We will again have our next conversation in our episode number 12, and I would like to sincerely thank you for sharing
Thank
your
you.
time
Thank you so
from,
much.
from your busy schedule. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would
Thank
like
you from
to.
my heart. And I'm sorry, I did not mean to hurt anyone because it was my personal opinion out of experience. But inadvertently, if I had hurt someone's sentiment, I'm sorry for that. Take it? Because you don't know how people take it. So I'm sorry. It's my personal
No,
opinion.
no, no. I think these are strictly our viewpoints, our opinions, and if anybody has a difference of opinion, I think that is also most welcome. That's how we debate and we grow together in our society, in our life. Thank you so much, Aparam ma'am. That is it for today for BookFlix Live episode number 11. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.